All right, let's do this. What's good? It's your boy DJ Fanatic at soundsforproducers.com. Basically, if you haven't subbed, hit that sub button if you're enjoying the videos, or if you learned anything I said, or if you got some type of inspiration out of the beats. And definitely appreciate those at the Facebook page, on the Facebook page community. Much love. And also to all those on the IG account as well. Hopefully, you know, the motivation and, you know, the beat videos, the content is hopefully benefiting you. And yeah, shout out to the producers out there showing love, man. So I finally figured out I can not export, but kind of have this little chat box pop out of YouTube. That way we can look at the chat while I'm shooting live. And my little one says hi. She's staring at me through these glass doors. So, and if you can hear her on the video, she is telling me to open the door in her own baby language. But I'm gonna make this video quick to please her and to please you as well. So again, click that sub button. You know, definitely appreciate your support, and give it a thumbs up if you're feeling the music or anything I said in this video. So basically, I'm gonna break down all the elements that I chose to use in this beat. I use this beat primarily with the Sounds for Producers pack, but I notice it's like, the Sounds for Producers, different packs, various sounds that I use. We have 10 products up on the website. There's some on the backlog that I've been meaning to release to y'all. But shout out to the producers that purchased those packs, man. Much love. And also there's a free loop pack in the description. So what am I gonna do right now? I'm actually gonna show you this sound that I started with. And then also just kind of break down the things that I did in the beat. So it has like an old school vibe, kind of like an underground hip hop vibe, and a little euphoric, but I thought it was kind of cool. So let me start with the first sound. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, cool. So the first sound, and I'm keeping the little chat open so I can see if anybody says anything while I'm shooting live. I doubt it because it's a smaller channel, but who knows? I'll keep it available for you. So I started with this sound, which was the string loop 90 BPM. Actually, that's not the sound. That's after I did the processing. So, okay, so this is the sound by itself in the original state. So you get the idea there. I pitched it up and stretched it a little bit to meet this BPM at 93. So pitching it up here, I think 400 cents. And I did some processing things with it as well. Let me close the browser window. I noticed something on accident I did off camera. If you have the channel rack open and you use a scroll wheel and you have a pattern selected, check it out. And it's not working. I don't know how I did that. Wow. Oh well, maybe I'll make another accident and you can see it later. But anyway, so for this sound you just heard that I started the beat off with, actually, let me drag that in so you can kind of hear it. I guess that overrides it. Jeez, man. Whatever. So anyway, I could take off all the effects and pitch it back down, but I don't feel like doing all that. So with that particular sound, if you notice in the playlist window, I think it's Control Shift Alt. Yeah, and just Alt. A little quick note: you can hold down Alt and use your scroll wheel with your mouse to resize the window without going up to the ruler. And it's Control Alt to move it horizontally. Alt and then up and down makes it smaller or higher or shorter. So with this track 1, basically I used some editing, just chopped up certain parts that I wanted out of that particular loop, and used some processing as well. So with the processing, man, I think I'm just going to close the chat. I'll leave it like that just in case. So with the processing, I chose Fruity Parametric EQ2, did some EQing, cut out some of the low mids here. My bad. And just kind of wanted to make it way different. I usually start with EQ so I can kind of shape the sound what I want. And then I'll start with, after doing EQ, then I'll try different things. I use Shaperbox 2 from Cable Guys, and I use one of their presets. This is the slow beater. It has some really cool presets in there, and a lot more than I thought. And of course you can get aftermarket stuff too, and you can mess around and create your own stuff and get totally lost in here. But I used the preset and changed some parameters. I'll spare you all the details, but it totally changed the sound. That made a big impact. And then I added reverb, a little bit of reverb on top of it to kind of give it some space, and halftime during the verses to kind of switch it up a little bit. So this is without effects. And this is with effects. And notice it has a lot of different movement now with those type of effects. So, and it just gives it a whole nother feel. You know, that's just one way of being creative with loops. You don't have to just be lazy and just take the exact loop and not do anything to it. You probably run into copyright issues too as well. You know, if you end up doing that particular method. So be creative, man. Don't feel like, you know, you can't, because, you know, you have a brain just like me, and you have the creative spirit, so go for it. Next things I added was just some simple coloration. So actually this wasn't that simple. I thought it adds some nice depth to it. So check it out. It's like this pad, flute pad. So it gives it like a nice layer to it, and it complemented that first sound. And the first sound is kind of complex, so I didn't want to get too crazy with the additive sound to it. So that particular sound I just EQ'd and used some reverb. And let me show you what I used for that one. That was Contact 5. And I think it was it the brass, analog brass, I think. And I used probably like an orchestration sound in there that I thought was cool. Yeah. See, I used the analog brass and winds by output. That's some awesome stuff. That is the calm winds, and I didn't think I changed much on the actual preset. So next sound was another similar layered sound. I'll let you hear it. And it's basically like a Vox pad. And we're getting some underrun pops here, so let me just turn off some of this mastering, so that way, you know, we can shoot this video and I can have all billion tabs open that I have. Cool. So that, let me play those by themselves without the first sound. And I had some tension there in the last chord, but if you notice, it's the same notes from pattern 1 to pattern 2, but up an octave in pattern 2 to kind of create some more energy there. The next thing I added was drums. I was happy with those 3 sounds. So that second pad, all I did is cut the lows there. So, and also let me show you, which I've been doing like for years. To make a quick edit, you can save it. Just hit this drop down once you set your parameters or whatever. And if Fruity Parametric EQ2, you can hit the down arrow and hit save preset as. Cool. And this was basically 100 cut, and then I just move it over instead of having to manually do it every time. Because once you start flying and creating while you're making beats really fast, that definitely helps. And you can do some, a lot of different presets in there. I don't know what the limit is, but you can have all kinds of crazy stuff. And there was, stuff they already made, which is useful too. See, 20 hertz cut, 300 hertz, 40 hertz. So you get the idea. And they even have different presets here. Test it out, get lost in your DAW. So the next thing I had was drums, man. So let me check the kick. Pretty straightforward pattern. That is the everyday kick 2. That is in the pack, the Sauce Volume 3, and that is in the bonus one shots. And I probably just did some EQ and some punchiness on the drums as well. The snare, next we did a snare, just so I can kind of get the basic rhythm. And this one has like this old school vibe to it. Check it out. Pretty straightforward old school vibe. That particular snare, that is the Get It snare, like a bounce snare. That was in the Sauce Volume 1 and the bonus one shots. But I thought that snare was kind of weak, and I ended up by itself. I ended up layering it to kind of give a little more coloration. You know what I mean? So let me see if that's on the same pattern. Pattern 4. No. So, right. Pattern 5. Pattern 6. There we go. So when you're layering sounds, you can get really creative with them. You can totally make different unique sounds by layering. Layering is so important. I can talk all day about it. And you're creating your own unique feel. So you got that bounce snare on top of this, which is a lower frequency. And also I used panning. If you notice, the second snare is panned to the left, and this one is shifted forward in time a little bit, but with no panning. So I kind of did some simple design there. Please work. Thank you. Just some simple, what do you call it? Sound design. Simple, very simple. So you can mess around with parameters like that. And then on the 4th bar, there was like this reverb snare. And that reverb snare, I thought it was kind of cool to kind of close out the phrase and just have like a little vibe to it. And that sound, let me show you where that is. That was in the same one, the Sauce Volume 2 loop pack. And all these are available at soundsforproducers.com. So have fun. Prices are slashed way down now. over 50%, so like 12 bucks. Let's see here. And the next instrument was hi-hats. And you're wondering, like, why is the hi-hat so simple, man? This guy. I wanted that just straightforward vibe. I usually make stuff very complex, and I just wanted something simple. Here's something I wanted to show you, though, is a quick way of, you know, changing the velocities of your hi-hats. You can Control A, select all, and hit Alt R, which opens the randomizer, and you have levels here where you can adjust the velocity. That way you have a little more human feel, and everything's not straight on the same velocity level. And also you can mess around with panning and some other parameters here, so have fun with that. But that's basically what I did for these hi-hats, and you can carry that and run with it. And actually you don't have to even use that just for hi-hats. You can use that for different things. So what's the next thing? Oh, also with the hi-hats, I shifted it off the grid a little bit. That way it's not just straight on the grid, and you add some humanization to it. And also all the music has a little swing, like 10%. You can adjust this to taste. It depends on what you're trying to do. So next thing I added was a shaker. Forgot to mention where the hi-hat came from. Just want to show you where each sound came from, just in case you're wondering. That was from the Sauce Volume 3. And the shaker was in the Drums of Madness, the Sauce series. All right, shaker, thank you. So that's a pretty straightforward shaker. It's actually stretched so that way the tempo would be slower because it was a lot faster. So it stretched actually 8 bars just to kind of give it some more stability. And I think next was the 808. So let's see if that's right. Change the snap to grid to bar. Let's try it. Yeah, so that's You Upset 8, 808. And that is in the Drums of Madness Scorpion Sting series. The Scorpion Sting series I think is the only pack with 808s. I'm thinking about doing a whole product of 808s. But of course, I had to make stuff shake because being a DJ for all those years, I've been in so many venues where I just love like big sound systems, and I'm gonna do some cool processing where be careful with your speakers and your ears, because these 808s I'm gonna make is just gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be just insane, and you want to be careful with where you play these, because when you put them in your beats, my God. All right, let me get back to work. So the next, that's almost it. The next was like this sound effect. Really cool sound effect. Where is that? That's that shaker that wants to play all day. Here it is, right here. And I threw that in as a bonus in the, it's actually in the Scorpion Sting Volume 2 pack, but also in the Drums of Madness pack. So it's a hidden bonus within the bonus one-shots. So yeah, that sounds pretty dope. And you can do some cool stuff with that one sound. So yeah, that's all the elements. Usually with the hi-hats, all I do is cut the, let me check here, make sure nobody's chatting. Cool. All I do is cut the highs, cut the lows with hi-hats. See, notice? And let me just get to a part with a hi-hat. See? See where the highs are cut? That way I'm getting rid of all this unwanted lower frequencies and leaving space for another a low frequency sound. For this one, I particularly did some side chaining for the 808. It's not always needed, depends on the sound that you want to get. And it's always an endless debate of, should I use side chaining, or side chaining gives pumping effect, or side chaining doesn't work, it's only for that genre. People go back and forth about it, but it depends on the beat and the settings. And these settings, let me hit play with the kick and the 808. So notice how I do have the kick really dominating through the 808, and that's what I wanted. If you visually look at it, this is the kick cutting into the 808. The 808's the white stuff. So you can visually see, I think you can zoom in with this. Is it? Oh, I really hope I didn't mess up. Oh, come on, man. So you can visually see right here how far the kick cuts into the 808. So this is pretty far, and I also had it's an average release rate. That way it's releasing within time, so the 808 comes back. Now if you have a really short release, you're gonna have a pumping effect. So it's frustrating when like people just put comments and not really know what they're talking about. It's all over the internet. You're like, yo, dude, how long you been making music or whatever? Like, you're always ready to down somebody because you think it's right. It may be right in a certain circumstance, so let me not vent too much on that. So hopefully I explained myself on that. It depends on the sounds you're using, the kick, the type of 808, the particular beat, and also how you're feeling that day. This is creativity. This is music. It's art. There's no set way to create art. You can't tell somebody you got to do it like this because so-and-so does it like this, or because this is ironclad in the manual, do it like this. There's creative rules meant to be broken because it's art. It's expression of the soul of your inner self, and you don't want to put it in a box. So many people like just body themselves because they think I got to do it like this. And that's why I make a lot of different types of music. So anyway, I'm done. That's your public service announcement. And if you really like that, hit that sub button. So, let me make sure nobody's chatting. Cool. And I don't even know if that's on. So anyway, I'm gonna play some of the beat, and mastering wise, I just do a easy mix, just a little bit of panning during the channel rack and within the mixer here. And I usually use Isotope Products, Neutron and Ozone 8, and just go crazy with parameters in there and total balance control, and I get pretty precise with that stuff. So let me hit play so you kind of hear some of the structure of the beat and vibe out a bit. Notice halftime. Switch it up a bit. Just gotta bring 808 in. So you get the idea. Just a little change up there. Oh, it's on autosave. No. It's auto saving over what I did. I forgot I have that engaged. Oh well. I didn't change too much. Thank God. I gotta disengage that when I do these videos. But anyway, you get the idea. The vibe has like an underground, old school vibe to it. Pretty straightforward beat, not too complex. And for this one, I was, aiming for a little more simplicity, just a fade out here at the end. And I didn't show you, but I showed it in a billion videos. But to sidechain, you just right click on the bottom arrow and then sidechain to this track. And then you can use the Fruity limiter as a sidechaining plugin. So anyway, just thought I'll show you that real quick. If you want to, learn how to sidechain or whatever, you can peep that video, or I can put it in the description. So this is my second official live stream, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully somebody got something out of it. And again, hit the sub button. Please subscribe if you enjoy the content. Hit the bell as well if you don't want to miss anything, and give it a thumbs up. Much love. Keep making dope music, and don't let people put you in a box creatively, man. You can go crazy with whatever your imagination takes you within your DAW, or you want to bring whatever's outside into your DAW and be creative. Creativity is endless, basically. Peace.